Now on Coast TV News.
Bone-chilling wind chills greeting us this Monday morning. We're also dealing with icy sidewalks and back roads. How long will Delmarva feel like a tundra? I'll have the answer coming up.
Feeling the freeze, the danger these temperatures are presenting after Sunday snow.
Reiner death investigation. The shocking discovery that filmmaker Rob Reiner and his wife were found dead in their Los Angeles home on Sunday.
Reassessment hearing wrap-up. What to expect at Delaware's Legislative Hall for the final meeting about the state's controversial property process.
This is Coast TV News Today.
It is December 15th, 2025. Good morning. I'm Matt Pensick.
Good morning, Matt. I'm Grace Eckerly. Thank you for being up with us during our 5 o'clock hour.
And Grace, boy, it's a shocker out there. We are starting off with some bitter cold temperatures.
I think those ice scrapers are getting a lot of use on people's cars this morning,
Gloves,
starting them up.
Hats,
yes.
Extra layers,
Very
a lot
much.
going on here.
All the above.
Yeah, tell us about these temperatures that we're experiencing this morning. Let's get right to First Alert meteorologist Chris Mastrobrano. He's in the Weather Center. Good morning, Chris.
Good morning, Matt and Grace. Yeah, I hope you cleared your car off yesterday ahead of these bitter cold temperatures because, boy, I'll tell you what, we're seeing some single-digit wind chills this morning, 21 degrees in Ocean City. The dew point is 6, so we have a very dry atmosphere across the peninsula. We're at 19 in Rehoboth, 18 in Georgetown, 17 in Harrington, 17 in Delmar. Now, the winds are out of the northwest, gusting anywhere between about 15 to 20 miles an hour, gusts as high as 26 Indian River Inlet. So that's producing these bitter wind chills. It feels like 6. Indian River Inlet, it feels like 5 in Rehoboth. It feels like 8 in Milford and 6 in Salisbury. So layer up this morning. Really don't be outdoors for long periods of time. Make sure you cover any exposed skin. We have high pressure building in, keeping things relatively dry after that snow we had yesterday morning. So the single-digit wind chills, well, we're going to turn those into wind chills in the teens by the afternoon as we struggle to get above the freezing mark. In fact, most locations today are going to stay below 32 degrees. And do watch out. We do have some slick back roads and sidewalks. We had a lot of blowing and drifting snow yesterday. So you may drive down a street and it may be dry, and then you drive down another street and there may be snow over it. By the afternoon, you see wind chills, teens and 20s with highs only reaching right around the 30-degree mark by this afternoon. There is a warm-up in sight. I'll have details of when we'll make a push at 50 to near 60-degree temperatures in that 7-day forecast.
Thank you, Chris. And as you just heard, temperatures this morning are in the teens, which is especially dangerous for people without shelter.
Coast TV News reporter Elisa Weber is in the First Alert Weather Jeep. And Elisa, you're getting a good look at the roads on this very frigid morning.
Good morning, Matt and Grace. Yes, we are driving outside right now in the area of 5 Points in Lewis. The back roads, you need to be careful as you are driving. There are patches of black ice as it is incredibly cold outside this morning. I actually just checked our Coast TV First Alert weather app. It says it's 20 degrees outside, but the real feel is 8. Now, these temperatures are incredibly dangerous for everyone, but especially those who do not have a place to go for shelter. That's why Code Purple shelters are actually open for the nighttime emergency hours from December until March 15th to make sure they house people who do not have a shelter to go during these really cold temperatures. You want to make sure that you are getting inside, not staying outside for as long as possible. And also, if you're able to volunteer with these Code Purple shelters, they rely on volunteers in order to stay open. And if you do need one of these Code Purple shelters, you can head to our website, coasttv.com. We have plenty of articles with all of the resources that are available. But again, this morning, as we were driving, roads outside this area, specifically 5 Points, it is okay. The roads are definitely plowed, they are cleared, but there are patches of black ice. The back roads is where you really want to drive slowly and carefully. Some plows may not have gotten to certain spots, but again, it is really early this morning, so also make sure you are taking plenty of time to warm up your car, clear up your car as well. We will have more updates for you throughout the morning. Back to you.
Lisa Weber in our First Alert Weather Jeep. Now, as we get out of this winter weather grip, here's a cool tool to save until next time. DelDOT has a snow tracker and a snow plow tracker. Those little orange icons show you where plows are in real time, so you can see if they'll be near you soon.
Happening now, multiple schools are delayed today due to Sunday's snow. All school districts in Sussex County, that includes Milford, Cape, and Indian River, and some charter schools are delayed by 2 hours. Now, To Maryland, though, Worcester schools are only set back about an hour, and Wacomico schools say that they are 90 minutes delayed. The districts cite frigid temperatures and icy conditions as the reasoning.
And we do have breaking news this morning. According to a source close to the Reiner family, filmmaker Rob Reiner and his wife, Michelle Singer Reiner, were found dead in their Los Angeles home on Sunday. That source also tells NBC News that the couple appeared to have died from stab wounds. Officials responded to the home shortly before 4 p.m. Pacific time to a report of 2 deceased at Reiner's Brentwood home. They found the body of a man in his 70s and a woman in her 60s inside, now identified as Reiner and his wife.
At this time, the Los Angeles Police Department is not seeking anyone as a suspect or as a person of interest or in any other manner, and we will not be doing that until we conduct our investigation and we move forward.
Officials are continuing the investigation. Rob Reiner was 78 years old and his wife was 68. Turning now to Lewis, and the city there is looking how to regulate drones. That is part of its Park and Recreation Commission agenda tonight. Lewis will look ahead at Rehoboth and Bethany Beach codes before drafting their own. Both Bethany and Rehoboth have restrictions such as when and where drones can operate. And that commission is meeting tonight at 5.
At that same Parks and Recreation meeting, the city will discuss their draft aircraft code. Right now, the drafted rules say you are not allowed to take off, launch, or land any aircraft along the beach strand. That's between Roosevelt Inlet and the Cape May Lewis Ferry. There are exceptions listed in the drafted code for things such as emergency situations.
Happening today, Bethany Beach is considering pedestrian safety upgrades. The town council is expected to discuss 2 DelDOT contracts totaling almost $460,000 for upgrades along Route 26. The plan includes improvements at the Route 26 and Kent Avenue intersection. Town would pay about $183,000 while DelDOT manages the work and inspections. People living in Bethany Beach think the potential improvement would aid traffic during busier times of the year.
I know in the summertime there's tons of people walking and riding back and forth to the beach. And actually, if it encouraged people to ride their bikes to the beach, considering how parking is limited during the summertime, I think it'd be great if they could figure a way to pay for it.
The meeting takes place in just a few hours from now at 10 a.m.
Here this morning, possible changes for Ocean City's fiscal year 26 budget. According to the agenda, Town Council is expected to hold a first reading for an ordinance to adopt a budget amendment. Town documents detail some expenditure changes since its adoption, and for this reason, as well as others, officials are considering a budget increase. That first reading takes place tonight at 6 p.m.
Delaware lawmakers are again moving forward with hearings regarding the controversial property reassessments. That next one is held today at 9 a.m. at Legislative Hall. It's expected this one will deal with school districts and funding. The hearings are related to a bill that allowed Newcastle school districts to reset its tax rates. And this just in, the deadly mass shootings at Brown University and in Australia dominated the headlines this weekend and have reignited the issue of gun violence here at home.
NBC's Alice Barr shows us how law enforcement is responding as these investigations are ongoing.
After a weekend of devastating gun violence from the campus of Brown University in Rhode Island, where 2 people were killed, 9 injured in a classroom.
I'm at 355 Brook Street. Rescue 1 just transported 1 victim.
To the shores of Sydney, Australia, with at least 15 people killed, close to 30 in the hospital in what investigators call an anti-Semitic attack. President Trump weighing in.
To the 9 injured, get well fast, and to the families of those 2 that are no longer with us, I pay my deepest regards and respects from the United States of America.
That as investigators in Rhode Island said overnight they were releasing a person of interest in the Brown shooting.
There was some degree of evidence that pointed to this individual, but that evidence needed to be corroborated and confirmed. That evidence now points in a different direction.
Security video shows a person believed to be the shooter with no clear image of their face as investigators raced to track down the gunman, the mayor of Providence looking to ease the community's fears.
Ever since the initial call, now a day and a half ago, we have not received any credible or specific threats to the Providence community.
While in Australia, police identified 2 suspects, a father and son, accused of terrorism targeting Jewish people who were celebrating the first day of Hanukkah at Bethany Beach, one of Australia's most popular tourist sites.
What was the most shocking was how long the gunfire lasted.
The 50-year-old suspect fatally shot at the scene, his 24-year-old son in custody and hospitalized with critical injuries, a bystander being hailed a hero for disarming one of the gunmen. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
On your screen now is Cedar Beach Road. That's where Milford's fire company called Carlisle wants to build a new substation. Now, to make that happen, Milford City Council is considering a conditional use ordinance that would allow the fire companies to turn a storage building into a new fire substation. The Carlisle Fire Company says this new location would help them to better respond to calls in the growing area. The fire department says this would be a smaller second location on Cedar Beach Road, and the site would be up for about 15 people, where firefighters would gear up and take fire trucks home from the site. The Milford Planning Commission will have a public hearing Tuesday at 6 p.m. And we're just getting started here on this hour of CoastTV News Today.
Yeah, coming up on CoastTV News Today, major mural reveal. What is the significance of this painting in Berlin?
Also, property owner renting rules. We'll tell you what Lewis officials are expected to discuss this week regarding rentals.
Still ahead, newer version, old cookie. What Oreo says it will release in the new year. And there is First Alert meteorologist Chris Masterbono on the Weather Center. He's getting the latest on these freezing temperatures, and we check in with him next.
Bitter cold air greeting us this Monday morning, and we are also dealing with some slick conditions, especially on those back roads and side streets. We had wind gusts to near 40 miles an hour yesterday, so you may go down a street, it's clear, and then another road has a lot of snow on it. So we also allow extra time for your car to warm up. Hopefully you cleared your windshield off yesterday, and if not, it's going to have a hard, icy crust on it this morning. 18 degrees right now in Salisbury. We're at 22 in Lewis, 17 in Harrington, 18 in Georgetown. But more importantly, the wind chills. Look at some of these wind chills. It feels like 5 in Rehoboth, feels like 7 in Millsboro, feels like 10 in Georgetown, and 6 in Ocean Pines. We have high pressure building in, so expect a dry, partly cloudy day. But again, we're going to struggle to get to the freezing mark with temperatures holding in the lower 30s. Upper 20s across some parts of the peninsula, and the winds won't be a huge factor throughout the afternoon, but we're going to deal with wind chills primarily in the teens and 20s. Coming up, we will talk about some milder temperatures down the road. Our full 7-day forecast is coming up in minutes.
Thank you, Chris. The Maryland Department of Transportation State Highway Administration is warning drivers about upcoming daytime road work on the Ocean City Expressway. Crews will begin pavement patching on MD 90 Tuesday, December 16th at US 50 and MD 589. That's the area. You can see it right on your screen now. Officials say work will run from 9 a.m. through 3 p.m. through Friday.
BB Healthcare will break ground Wednesday afternoon on its newest health campus in Millsboro. This is located near the bypass at Sheep Pen Road and Route 20. BB says this new facility will include a freestanding emergency department with pediatric care, walk-in services, lab services, and a retail pharmacy.
Southwest Airlines is making an investment in Austin, Texas. The airline announced it will open a new crew base for pilots and flight attendants at the city's international airport. The base, to open in March, is expected to create over 2,000 high-paying jobs. Austin is supporting the effort with a $5.5 million incentive package.
Grace, this next story is for people like me concerned about extra pounds. There's a new snack coming for people who are trying to cut down on sugar. Oreo Zero Sugar Cookies, scheduled to debut in January. Each sugar-free cookie has about 45 calories. That's nearly 10 fewer calories than a traditional Oreo. And the sugar-free option will also be available in the double stuffed version. That is good news, Chris.
It is, because I'm going to be consuming a lot of sugar over the next 7 to 10 days. As you see, the frigid wind chills this morning. Layer up, dress warm. Good news is we are going to be turning much milder later on in the week. I'll have details about that coming up in the full forecast.
Time is 5:19, and you're looking live at the bright lights of the Ferris wheel there in Ocean City. And Chris, I think during the break we were trying to come up with some adjectives for the temperatures today. You have frigid. You had another one earlier that really hit Arctic. What was it? Great?
Oh, tundra.
Tundra,
yeah.
That's what it was.
Yeah, you know, we didn't have a tremendous amount of snow yesterday, but we had just enough to kind of maybe get us more in that Christmas spirit. We had about a general coating to 2 inches of snow across the area, up to 6 to near 7 inches across Newcastle County, northern portions of the peninsula. We're at 18 degrees right now in Salisbury, so hopefully you cleared off your windshield, maybe shoveled your pavement, because if not, it's going to be an ice rink this morning. 18 degrees right now in Milton. We're at 20 Indian River Inlet, 17 in Ocean Pines. But when you factor in these winds, still gusting to near 26 miles an hour, Indian River Inlet feels like 5 Indian River Inlet, 5 in Bethany Beach, feels like 7 in Milton, and 6 in Harrington. So we still have that cold weather advisory primarily for our southern counties. Now we're going to be dealing with frigid wind chills throughout the entire Delmarva Peninsula. We also do have gale warnings up for another 2 hours. These will likely be downgraded to small craft advisories through the day today. We're pretty quiet, some lake effect snow, high pressure building in, and we're going to stay pretty quiet here really for the next 4 days before our next front moves in later on in the week. So we'll have partly cloudy skies through the afternoon. Notice the temperatures. We're going to struggle to get out of the 20s, I think. So we go from wind chills in the single digits this morning to feeling like 15 by 1 o'clock in Lewis, feeling like 17 in Bethany Beach. And we're going to keep those wind chills really in the teens through the evening and overnight. It's going to feel like 13 in Milton by 8 o'clock. So not much of a warm up today. You kind of get the picture. By tomorrow morning, still going to see wind chills in the teens. So not going to see wind chills in the single digits. So it's a step in the right direction. And that's really going to kick off a warming trend as we go into the middle part of the week. So partly cloudy skies through the afternoon. We'll stay clear and frosty overnight. Another cold night as we dip into the teens. And by tomorrow, we're pushing upper 30s to near 40 degrees, and it gets only better from there on out. By Wednesday, we're right on our average high for this time of year, and then we're going to push to near 60 on Thursday. That's ahead of another strong cold front that's going to bring rain to the area late Thursday through Friday. And notice the southwest winds can be a rather breezy day on Friday, and we are dealing with rain. You can see rain pretty much all the way up to the Poconos and upstate New York. But then behind that system, colder air will filter in through the start of the weekend. So we're at 30 degrees this afternoon, feeling more like 16 to 26 across the peninsula, 18 overnight under starry skies, 37 for our Tuesday, a mostly sunny, chilly, dry day, and we stay dry really through Thursday night. The front moves through, brings the rain in, so a wet start to our Friday. Temperatures will fall throughout the day into the 40s after milder temperatures in the morning, and then we'll fall down to 43 for a high on Saturday. Looking pretty dry for the upcoming weekend as we rebound back into the 50s by next Sunday. Matt.
Thank you, Chris. Here's a look at an accessory dwelling unit. This is defined as a second independent living space sitting on the same property as a main house.
Wednesday, the Lewis Planning Commission will discuss the rules surrounding these ADUs in the city, and specifically requirements that property owners must live in one part of the ADU.
Yeah, in a beach community like Lewis, the city says there are several existing ADUs where both units are being used as short-term rentals. And those people, according to Lewis, are breaking the rules, but according to the code, the property owner must live in one of the units.
Realtor Leanne Wilkinson previously wrote a letter to the Lewis Planning Commission saying the ADU ordinance needs to be looked at closer to make things more fair.
If you don't count the duplexes, if you don't count the townhouse communities, condo communities, those all are allowed to be rented as short-term rentals, all of them. So why does this poor little 2.6% of our homes not get the same rights that everybody else has?
And the Lewis Planning Commission meeting is 6:30 p.m. on Wednesday.
Up next on CoastTV News Today, major mural reveal. We'll tell you how Worcester County is highlighting the history of a school that has been given new life. Don't go anywhere. The Germantown School Community Heritage Center in Berlin is celebrating the installation of their new mural with a ribbon cutting and holiday reception. Patrick Henry, a Delmarva native from Berlin, painted the mural. The themes of the mural are collaboration, education, and community. It features a portrait of Julius Rosenwald, who worked with Booker T. Washington in the early 1900s to build schools for young Black Americans. The board president of the Germantown School Community Heritage Center believes that the mural provides a lesson to all who look at it.
I think the mural turned out great. It's telling the story of the Germantown School from the beginning up to the present.
The Germantown School Community's Heritage Center was once a two-room school dedicated to improving education for Black students through the southern United States. The school was open from 1922 through the 50s, and now the center hosts events to be a, quote, welcoming gathering place for all people.
Hope you're doing anything you can to stay warm this morning. The coldest air of the season will be greeting you stepping out the door this morning. We're at 21 in Ocean City, but it feels like the single digits. So we'll rise from the 20s, the lower 20s to the upper 20s into Ocean City, Fenwick Island this afternoon. It will feel like the teens for most of the day with those winds anywhere from 15 to 25 miles an hour. Lewis, we're at 28. We'll fall to 27. Partly cloudy skies through the afternoon. So layer up if you're heading out and do any Christmas shopping. Cambridge will be up to right around the 30-degree mark under those partly cloudy skies, as well as in Crisfield. Congratulations to Carol Gould, Millville, Delaware, winning an umbrella from CoastTV. And you can always call our CoastTV First Alert weather phone for your latest forecast. We'll track the wind chills coming up in the next half hour, as well as details on when we'll make a run at 60 degrees this week.
Thank you, Chris. After the break on CoastTV News today, major shooting investigation. 2 mass shootings across the globe are top of mind for police as the search continues for the suspects.
Also, Lewis seeks sky regulations. What are the flying objects that the city is taking a look at today?
After the break on CoastTV News today, investigation after director dies. We'll tell you the early details being released in the death of Rob Reiner and his wife. CoastTV News today. We'll be right back.
Now on CoastTV News.
Feeling the freeze, the danger these temperatures are presenting after Sunday's snow.
Bone-chilling wind chills greeting us this Monday morning. We're also dealing with icy sidewalks and back roads. How long will Delmarva feel like a tundra? I'll have the answer coming up.
Investigating Reiner death, the developing story, and the information available over the shocking discovery at the filmmaker's home.
Limiting flight in Lewis. The aircraft restrictions under consideration today for the area near the Cape May Lewis Ferry.
This is CoastTV News Today.
December 15th, 2025. Good morning, everybody. I'm Matt Pensick. Good morning, Grace.
Good morning, Matt. Thank you for joining us today.
We're about to hit 5:32. And Grace, stop me if you've heard this before. The weather outside is frightful.
No,
it's a song.
I'm not really familiar with
on
that.
Spotify, on Spotify.
Oh, maybe I'll just go outside and feel it for myself.
Well, there
maybe.
you go. Yeah.
Turning now to First Alert meteorologist Chris Mastrobono. And Chris, it is frigid outside.
Yes, I know you were loving that snow yesterday. Maybe not so much these single-digit wind chills that we're seeing across the entire Delmarva Peninsula at this hour. We're at 18 degrees, so we're pretty much all in the teens, with the exception of some of our beach locations. We're at 20 Indian River Inlet, 20 in Ocean City, but away from the coast, 16 in Gumboro, 16 in Delmar. We're at 17 in Harrington, 18 in Georgetown. Now, yesterday we had winds 40, 45 miles an hour. Won't be that gusty today, but still gusting to 16 Millsboro, 26 Indian River Inlet. So that's producing, well, look at these wind chills. 15 Indian River Inlet, 15 Bethany Beach. It feels like 6 in Gumboro, 8 in Bridgeville. So a frigid start to our day. So layer up. Avoid prolonged time outdoors this morning if you can. High pressure virtually building right over the mid-Atlantic. So we're going to stay sunny and dry for the next few days. But the good news is we're going to gradually moderate those temperatures. By tomorrow, we'll finally get above the freezing mark. But until then, we're going to be in the chill. We're look at these temperatures staying below the freezing mark through the afternoon. Wind chills will slowly rise through the teens through the afternoon to right around the low 20s through the afternoon as those winds subside. Coming up, we'll talk about some milder temperatures ahead, as well as some rain chances towards the end of the week. We'll talk more about that coming up a little bit later on in the newscast.
Thank you, Chris. And as you just mentioned, those temperatures this morning in the teens, which is especially dangerous for people without shelter.
Yeah, and our Elisa Weber is out in our first alert weather Jeep in these frigid elements, where there also is the potential of black ice on the roads. Good morning, Elisa.
Good morning, Matt and Grace. Right now, we are driving on Cave Neck Road. Wanted to give you a view of what our back roads are looking like. Cave Neck right now, it's clear. Like Matt just mentioned, though, black ice is a concern this morning as those temperatures are extremely cold. I just checked the CoastTV First Alert Weather app. It says 20 degrees outside, but it feels like 8, and it definitely feels much less than 20 degrees outside. We have a lot of layers outside when we are out there, but for people who do not have shelter, Code Purple shelters do operate from December to March 15th to operate as emergency shelters for those who need to get out of these cold temperatures in the nighttime hours. And Code Purple has many locations all across the coast and in Sussex County. If you are in need of one, you can head to our articles on CoastTV.com to see the exact details of what you have to do to get a spot at one of those shelters. But with the cold, it's also important for people to volunteer at Code Purple so that those shelters stay open. And we actually talked to Mike Agnew, who's director of Code Purple at the Cape. He told us about what it's looking like this year with the number of volunteers. So we're going to hear from him right now.
Code Purple at the Cape is open every night, regardless of the temperature. So the fact that we're in the single digits will probably draw more demand, but the shelter's open each night from December 1st to March 15th, without exception. And we've done that consistently now, entering our 4th season. We have more than 200 volunteers.
And as you are driving this morning, make sure you drive slowly and carefully. We've mentioned black ice, also in parking lots as well. Just be extra cautious. Our main highways are in pretty good condition right now. We are headed on to Route 1 where you can see it is clear. But again, just be careful. Let your car warm up extra this morning. And of course, be safe out there. We'll have more updates for you throughout the morning. Back to you.
Thank you, Elisa. Happening now, multiple schools are delayed due to today's or Sunday's snow. All school districts in Sussex County, including Milford, Cape, and Indian River, as well as some charter schools, are delayed by 2 hours. To Maryland, though, Worcester schools are only set back by 1 hour. Wacomico schools are 90 minutes delayed, and the districts are citing frigid temperatures and icy conditions as the reasoning. Going now to breaking news. According to a source close to the Reiner family, filmmaker Rob Reiner and his wife, Michelle Singer Reiner, were found dead in their Los Angeles home on Sunday. That source also tells NBC News that the couple appear to have died from stab wounds. Officials responded to the home shortly before 4 p.m. to report of 2 deceased at Reiner's Brentwood home. They found the body of a man in his 70s and a woman in her 60s inside, now identified as Reiner and his wife. Officials are continuing to investigate. Rob Reiner was 78 years old and his wife 68.
Turning now to Lewis, and the city there is looking how to regulate drones. It's part of its Park and Recreation Commission agenda tonight. The commission is looking at Rehoboth and Bethany Beach codes before drafting their own. Both Bethany and Rehoboth have restrictions such as when and where drones can operate. That commission again is meeting tonight at 5.
And at that same Parks and Recreation meeting, the city will discuss their draft aircraft code. Right now, the drafted rules say you are not allowed to take off and launch or land any aircraft along the beach strand, and that's between Roosevelt Inlet and the Cape May Lewis Ferry. There are exceptions listed in the drafted code for things such as emergency situations.
Happening today, Bethany Beach is considering pedestrian safety upgrades. The town council is expected to discuss 2 DelDOT contracts totaling almost $460,000 for upgrades along Route 26. The plan includes improvements at the Route 26 and Kent Avenue intersection, and the town would pay about $183,000. Well, DelDOT manages the work and inspections. That meeting takes place at 10 a.m.
Delaware lawmakers are again moving forward with the hearings regarding the controversial property reassessments. The next one will be held today at 9 a.m. at Legislative Hall. The hearings were put on hold because of a lawsuit related to a bill that allowed Newcastle school districts to reset its tax rates.
New overnight, police say they are still trying to bring justice to the shooter who left 2 dead and 9 injured at Brown University over the weekend. They say they detained someone identified as a person of interest, but they are releasing him.
Amy Kiley shows us the ongoing investigation as the mayor says sheltering in place is no longer necessary.
Sometimes you head in one direction and then you have to regroup and go in another.
Police say someone who was a person of interest in connection to a mass shooting at Brown University is going free. They say they don't have enough evidence to keep him detained or to prosecute him. The Providence, Rhode Island police chief says authorities continue to investigate and
continue to do the work that we need to do to bring this person who's responsible to justice.
2 students are dead and 9 are injured after a shooter opened fire in a Brown classroom over the weekend.
In times of sadness and sorrow.
Community members are grieving, including with a vigil last night.
I was 15 years old when I was shot at my school, and I wasn't able to attend the vigil after the shooting. And, being here to support my community in any way I can is important to me.
This is an epidemic that's flooding our country, and to have it come so close to home is really, really hard to see.
While mourners remember the victims, witnesses remember the lockdown and shooting. This video shows students hiding in the library.
Police! Providence police!
Hands! Until law enforcement found them. Others were in the room with the shooter.
The first couple gunshots went straight to the chalkboard, exactly where I was standing.
I'm Amy Kiley reporting.
We're announcing a live look at Washington, D.C. as a new report from Congress alleges outgoing D.C. Police Chief Pamela Smith pressured officers to manipulate crime data. The House Oversight Committee claims there was an active effort to downplay crime in the city. Smith has led the police force for 2 years, but will end her tenure at the end of the month. Statistics show the district has seen a sharp drop in crime under Smith's watch, and Smith has denied those allegations that she manipulated crime data while she was in charge of the police department.
And we have a lot more news to get to. Don't go anywhere.
Coming up, a major success for mega adoption. We'll tell you how many animals found their forever homes this weekend from the BVSBA.
Also, birds bounce back. Jalen Hurts throws for 3 touchdowns. How close are the Eagles now to another division title?
And a ferry passage pause when drivers will need to find alternate travel options as the Woodland Ferry takes a break. Stay with us on CoastTV News Today.
Good Monday morning, Delmarva. You're going to need all the cold weather gear this morning. Layered clothing, winter coat, hats, gloves, scarves, and of course a warm beverage. Hopefully you were able to clear your car off yesterday morning. Otherwise, you're going to need even more time to warm up that car. 18 degrees right now in Dover. We're at 18 in Long Neck, 17 in Gumboro. But look at these wind chills. Feels like 5 in Indian River Inlet and Bethany Beach. It feels like 7 in Laurel, 6 in Salisbury. High pressure building in will keep us dry over the next few days, and we are looking at sunshine, partly cloudy skies through the afternoon. Not going to warm up all that much today, with highs struggling to get out of the 20s. We'll talk more about some milder temperatures ahead in my full 7-day forecast.
Thank you, Chris. And you're looking at images of concerts at Rehoboth Beach's bandstand this summer and just how crowded they get. This week, Rehoboth staff is recommending the city have stronger enforcement to keep sidewalks and business entrances clear. A proposed ban on parking in the horseshoe by the bandstand after 6 p.m. on concert nights, and better communication about temporary traffic changes. DelDOT announcing upcoming closures of the Woodland Ferry. According to the department, the first closure is set to take place today until December 22nd. Then again on Christmas Day, and finally December 29th through January 2nd.
The Eagles playing their final home game before Christmas, hoping their opponent on Sunday, the Raiders, that would be the 2-11 Raiders, are the get-right team the Birds so desperately need right now. The Eagles enter this Week 15 contest on a 3-game losing streak. Far cry when these two franchises met in Super Bowl 15. Opening drive of this one lasted over 7 minutes, capped with a shuffle pass to Dallas Goedert. Touchdown Eagles and a 7-0 lead. It's 10-0 when just after the 2-minute warning in the second quarter, Saquon Barkley, he's from Penn State, Grace.
Yay!
Up the middle for a 2-yard score, making it 17-0. And how about another shuffle pass to Goddard? How about another touchdown? All Eagles all the time in this game. 31-0 the final. The losing streak is over. The Birds are 9-5. They have a Saturday night game at Washington up next on the schedule and a chance to clinch the NFC East with a win. To Cincinnati, Lamar Jackson had 2 touchdown passes. The Ravens get back to 500 with a convincing 24-0 win over the Bengals. And this win gets the Ravens to within a half game of the AFC North and making them big Miami Dolphin fans tonight with that game against the Steelers. To the New Jersey Swamps, and Washington snaps their 8-game losing streak. Terry McLaurin with this 51-yard touchdown catch and run for the clincher of a 29-21 win over the Giants. And coming up tonight on the Delmarva Sports Network, 6 p.m., we have live boys high school basketball when Pocomoke visits Salisbury School. And then you can catch the final score at 10:30. You can watch that Pocomoke-Salisbury School game that we just mentioned on DSM Plus, along with these exclusives at 4 p.m. Seaford hosts St. Peter and Paul in girls basketball. Then we got a couple of boys basketball games for you. 5:30, Worcester Prep is at Delmarva Christian. 5:45, Snow Hill faces Parkside.
If you're having a rough week, I know Chris isn't because his Eagles lost, but feel free to cheer up with a weekly dose of local good news from CoastTV with a personal feature, fun things to do each weekend, and more. You can sign up now for free at coasttv.com/sign-up to hear a weekly dose of joy directly to your inbox on Friday.
Time to showcase how you are decorating your homes this holiday season. And today's holiday house picture is coming to us from Dan and Antoinette in Fruitland. And on your screen, we have this bright tree with an extravagant base and jolly tree skirt. Grace, I think this is right up your alley because of the whites.
Matt,
the lights are white.
Matt, you have no idea how much that means to me because you know me so well. I was looking at this, I was like, this is one of the most beautiful trees I've ever seen. Thank you to Dan and Annette for that. And if you'd like to share your festive decorations, we share it in our broadcast. If you want to take a look at your screen and send us in your photos by heading to our website, coasttv.com/holidayhouse. The time is now 5:50 a.m. as we're taking a live look out into Salisbury. And you know what, Chris, we were actually talking about something pretty interesting in this tundra, as you called it. There's a pretty big difference, and I know that you feel it if you're shoveling between heavy, wet snow and that light, fluffy stuff. Chris, we had the best of it yesterday.
Yeah, you know, it's very pretty on the trees and the plants. You get that nice thick snow. But yeah, the colder the temperatures, the powderier it is, and easier it is to shovel and brush off your car. But we are dealing with some frigid temperatures this morning. Ocean City coming in at 21 degrees, the dew point 6, an indicator of the moisture in the atmosphere. Very dry out there. We're at 18 degrees in Millsboro, 18 Georgetown, 17 in Harrington. When you factor in the wind gusts, 15 to near 25 miles an hour, we're seeing wind chills in the single digits. It feels like 4 degrees in Rehoboth. It feels like 6 in Gumboro and 6 in Harrington. Now we have that cold weather advisory for Dorchester, Wycomico, as well as Worcester counties. That goes through 10 o'clock this morning. A small craft advisory now up for the Delmarva coast on the Atlantic from Rehoboth all the way down to Chincoteague. That runs through 1 o'clock this afternoon. And we do have a gale warning up through the Chesapeake Bay for a few more minutes there. That will likely be a small craft advisory. We have high pressure building in, very cold throughout much of the east, and that's rarely the way we're going to stay through the day today. Highs reaching the upper 20s, but notice the wind chills. We rebound from the single digits to feeling like 18 by lunchtime. And it's going to feel like 21 by around 4 o'clock this afternoon. We continue that northwest wind flow. Winds won't be as strong as where we were at yesterday, but you can see by 8 o'clock this evening, it's going to feel like 13 in Milton. And then by tomorrow morning, waking up to wind chills in the teens, I should say, feeling like 14 in Seaford. And then we'll gradually begin to see milder temperatures through the afternoon. Partly cloudy skies through the day today. Will stay mainly clear and frosty overnight, dipping into the teens and 20s, and by tomorrow I think some areas will make a run at 40 degrees. By Wednesday we push 50. That's right on par for our average high. And then by Thursday, 58 to near 60, and that's ahead of a strong cold front that's going to bring rain into the area Thursday night through Friday morning. Winds will be pretty gusty as well into Friday, but you could see This is primarily a rain event with much milder air, and then behind it we see colder temperatures as the cold front pushes through into the weekend. We're at 30 this afternoon, feeling more like 16 to 26 throughout the afternoon. We're at 18 overnight, not as windy, frosty, 37 for our Tuesday under mostly sunny skies. We keep it dry, partly cloudy in through Wednesday, 50 degrees. 58 Thursday. Most of Thursday is dry as well. It's not until Thursday night through Friday we'll see periods of rain move through the area as that cold front pushes through, and then we fall to 43 by Saturday.
We continue to raise money for our Bless Our Children campaign. We are raising those funds to ensure that every child on Delmarva has that special present to open this time of the year. And when you send in a card with a donation, we place that card on our tree. And here is the latest one that's going up. We got this great winter scene of this cardinal on the pine tree branch. And this one was sent to us by Melanie and Robert in Ocean Pines. Thank you so much. And this card is going up on our tree. Businesses can help by accepting the Shell Brothers Challenge of donating at least $1,000. And if you want to help send a donation and a holiday card, we may just read it on the air. Send a check or money order to the address on your screen or donate online at blessourchildren.org.
We've already raised over $315,000 to help children and families this holiday season. And again, we would like to thank all who have donated.
Brandywine Valley SPCA held another mega adoption event all weekend across all campuses, including Delaware. The adoption fees were reduced to $35, and organizers say there were 943 adoptions over just 2 days. The event helps clear out shelters to help more pets in need, and hundreds of animals were adopted.
This fantastic news, Matt. The time is now 5:54 a.m. and it's time to check in with our coastal pet of the day.
I love this picture, Grace.
Oh,
we got
my
Charlie here. Charlie and his baby, quote baby, that's the toy in his mouth, are ready for the big holiday. We wonder what's on his wish list. Charlie was submitted to us by his family in Ocean City.
It's like he's wearing a little sweater, his PJs. He's probably all tucked warm and cozy in his bed, Matt. And we want to see more of your pets on Delmarva. You show us photos, tell us what makes them so special. If you take a look at your screen now.
Scan that QR code at the top to get your friends to Coast TV News, and then watch weekdays 5 to 7 a.m. to see all the pets we feature. Oh, Grace, we got a big cold blast to start our morning.
That's right. In this tundra that we're having, Chris, what is going on here? It feels like we were just on the beach and now it's snowing. And
no
it's
boogie boarding, Grace.
No boogie boarding. Gonna have to keep that boogie board on ice for a little while there. Partly cloudy skies through the afternoon today. Temperatures are going to struggle to even get to the 30-degree mark. It's going to feel more like the teens throughout the day. 37 mostly sunny skies through Tuesday. We stay dry. Wednesday, Thursday, and look at this, we're up to near 60 degrees by Thursday. That's ahead of a cold front that's going to bring a round of rain Thursday through Friday. As we get into the weekend, 43 by Saturday, Matt.
Perhaps if you got one of those wetsuits, you could do some boogie boarding on that 58-degree day. Coming up in our next hour, big chill, what to expect on a bitter cold Monday morning as you get ready to head out the door. That and more when we continue with Coast TV News Today.